If you are considering selling your property or are already selling your property and keep hearing about and getting asked about seller financing and are curious what the genuine benefits are, then you might want to stick around. Hi, my name is Lauren Bailey. I'm a local realtor in Central and South Texas, and I have done everything from land, ranch, residential, and rural properties. Now, I've also had my hand in many closings and transactions that involved seller financing, both on the buyer and the seller side. What makes a seller an ideal candidate to offer seller financing? Well, the biggest thing is if you are not relying on that money up front to be able to put you somewhere else or in another home or on another property, and if it's paid off, if it is paid off in full and you're just writing a check every year on taxes, the first biggest thing is no, you are not a glorified landlord. You are the bank. You are not having to no longer pay taxes on it. You don't have to manage the property. You don't have to worry about repairs. The buyer assumes all responsibility of ownership on the property while you are just getting a check every month with interest, passive income. Second thing is smoother transaction process, which means you're opening up to more buyers. You're also not having to go through underwriting, which makes it faster. You're not having to jump through a bunch of hoops like having to have an appraisal, having to have a survey, having to have an inspection. All of those things are kind of really up to the buyer and the seller negotiating things like that if they, again, need be necessary, which saves both of you time and money. And the final thing, which tends to be a big deciding factor, is capital gains tax, okay? If you think you're just gonna sell this property, get all this money up front, you're gonna treat yourself some, you might wanna put some in the savings account, maybe invest and try to make more money on the rest, guess what? You still have to pay capital gains tax. You don't get out of it. Versus if you are seller financing, you're not having to pay all of that capital gains tax after closing on the property. Hopefully this gave some insight, and if you have more questions on seller financing process in real estate or want to know the benefits as a buyer, I'd be happy to answer more questions for you, and see you on the next one.